Lost Ark has released, and with that, people are rushing to the soft cap of level 50. But what do you actually do? What should you do when you hit 50 first? It's common to be overwhelmed by all of the systems that are going to be thrown at you, and it's easy, in fact, to do things in the wrong order, especially when it comes to those daily lockouts and what you should be doing first. So, hi guys, and welcome to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow, and today I'm going to go over exactly what you need to do at level 50 and in what order, so let's get started. To begin with, there's a pretty damn good chance that once you've hit 50, you haven't even reached VERN yet. You may have even dinged inside of a dungeon. VERN is an important region for the story and your character, as VERN Castle, the city of VERN, is where major endgame systems are going to be unlocked. So if you have hit level 50 before reaching VERN Castle, then that's what you need to do next. You need to continue the story, the main story, until you reach VERN. And when you've arrived in the city, it's time to prepare yourself for everything you're going to need to do. As part of the main quest, you'll be taken around the city for a tour. You should definitely do this immediately. This will naturally get you those fast travel points around the area, but it's going to introduce you to many of those new systems and unlock a bunch of stuff. So don't overthink it, just follow the main quests and get all these things unlocked. Through this, you're going to unlock things like Una's tasks, chaos dungeons, and the beginning of the awakening skill questline. Now that tour is over and the next quests want you to leave the castle area, we can get into it. To begin with, we should set up your mobbing and boss killing builds, because now you have access to almost all of your abilities and the main chunk of your skill points. For PvE, there's sort of two sides to the coin. Are you fighting a massive amount of enemies at once, AoE clearing them down? Well, that's called mobbing, and you should have a build that caters to mobbing. Or are you fighting one single boss with a huge health pool that you've got to overcome? Well, then a boss killing build is much better for that. Fortunately, you are given exactly two loadouts to begin with that you can swap between if you're out of combat. The idea is basically create a build for the type of content you're doing and then swap based on what you're going to do. To create a suitable build for mobbing, you just want effective AoE abilities and to tripod those abilities into more effective mobbing skills. Whereas with a boss build, it's sustained DPS you want for single target. I would definitely recommend you read or watch guides on that. Alright, so moving forward, we have our two builds to swap between, depending on what content we're about to do. Now it's time to finally do those guide quests. Pull up the journal with J and check the guide quest tab. If you've been leveling fast like me and ignoring them, then it's time to do them now. These are all important mechanics and systems that are going to be explained to you in simple ways, while also rewarding you pretty damn important resources. Definitely a good idea then to do these on your main to get those rewards. With those wrapped up, I want to make sure you've done something that many players easily accidentally ignore. These are the stones of birth. In your equipment screen, you have your weapons and armor and accessories, right? You know that, I'm sure. But also under your armor are engraving slots, and under your accessories are stone slots. You see, these are very important. Not having them on or equipped is a huge mistake, but let's stick to stones for now. If you haven't equipped one, you're missing out on a massive amount of health points for no reason. But before you can even equip one, it needs cutting. We can cut the stone at any ability stone cutter in a city. The stones each come with 2 positive traits and 1 negative. So the idea is to find a stone with the traits that are ideal for your class, while also having a negative trait that's acceptable, that hopefully you're not even going to activate. Before these traits take effect though, you'll need at least 5 nodes in that trait. Now each successful cut is 1 node, and we can get nodes from other sources like engravings, but again, we'll have a full guide on that soon. To get the best result, try to cut only positive traits when your odds are at 55% and above, while cutting negative traits only when your odds are below 55%. Ultimately, it's RNG, but you can play the odds to give yourself the best chance possible. The stone must be fully cut before you can use it, so there's no avoiding it. From there, equip your cut stone. And in this example, look as I gain 2,000 hit points from going from no stone to wearing one. So absolutely do this. Alright, with the basics of stone cutting out the way, now it's time to choose your tasks. Una's tasks will be unlocked via that city tour you just did. Press escape and click Una's tasks to see them. These in short are daily and weekly missions to work on. The dailies are more specific and intentional tasks, while weekly tasks are more progression over time based. You can pick up to 3 dailies each day and then choose 1 weekly for each type of content. Ideally, we'll do our 3 dailies every day and then complete the weeklies before each weekly reset. set. It's honestly not that complicated. You just pick the tasks you want to do based on what the rewards are. To begin with, you want to pick mats for upgrading, and those are the green Harmony Leap Stones and Harmony Shards. And we also want to activate at least the weeklies before we go do anything else, so we make progress on those from here on. Moving on, we can now talk about your level 50 class skill and your awakening skill. These are very important skills to actually have unlocked, and it only takes a tiny quest line. During that city tour of VERN Castle, you'll also be told to return at some point to Trixion, so just go there using the Song of Trixion. Here you begin the awakening skill quest, and it's a short 3-part series. Now depending on your class, that quest may take you all around the world, possibly returning you to an earlier area, but for me with the Deathblade, it takes me where the VERN story actually happens anyway. Whatever you're doing, it won't take you long, so just go do it, because you want to reach the point in this quest line where it's asking you to go to Chaos Dungeons. By that point, it'll want 1,500 charge from a Chaos Dungeon, which can be done in just one Chaos Dungeon run. So with all of that prepared and your Una's tasks accepted, let's get going. Let's begin the Chaos Dungeons. Chaos Dungeons are daily content rewarding upgrade materials that we really need. Essentially, they're just intense mobbing. That term that just means killing huge packs of weak enemies. So equip that mobbing build you made. To enter a Chaos Dungeon, you need to just use the Chaos Dungeon statue, find them in the cities, and then choose the level you want to complete. Like any queue content, we can check the recommended eye level to do what we're looking at, and also the possible rewards. To start out though, we'll have to do the first level of the first region, so that's North VERN level 1. So head in, kill everything, and just complete all 3 stages, where packs of enemies and some mini-bosses try to kill you. Completing this will get you your first set of rare gear, and this is all eye level 302. We should have a full set by the time we've ran it twice. So run the Chaos Dungeons twice, which will consume your 2 daily runs, and then you should have your full set of eye level 302 gear, and also a nice chunk of upgrade materials. Now, because we've done that, we should be able to hand in our Awakening skill quest, and during this storyline, you'll be given these 2 books. One is the level 50 skill, so just use that, and then one is your Awakening skill, so use that as well. The Awakening skill is a unique skill on its own slot, which has a long cooldown and consumes those tokens you were just given, but it's a very strong skill. Each class will have 2 Awakening skills to choose between, but one is unlocked later on. Now it's time for your other 2 times daily content, the Guardian Raids. These also reward more equipment, but more importantly, upgrade materials. Instead of killing hundreds of enemies, we just go out and hunt a single giant monster. They went for a Monster Hunter theme here because these monsters don't have a health bar displayed, and you have to find it before you can kill it. Before we actually do these though, you'll definitely want to grab the purple quest called Find the Guardian in VERN's castle. And also, here's a reminder to check your journal in the guide section and, complete the Guardian Raid Qualification Certificate quest so you can actually do this. With those 2 guide quests complete already, we can go hunt our first Guardian. We do so at a Guardian raid board in town. Equip your boss killing build, and then go hunt the first Guardian, which should be nil, using that eye level 302 gear you just got. Now, unlike Chaos Dungeons, you should do this while in a group. I wanted to see what it was like to solo one compared to, regularly grouping it, just to find out, and that's a mistake. It takes way longer. After you've run the Guardian Raids twice, let's move on. From all of that, it's time to actually upgrade our gear using the upgrade materials we've been gathering. We do this through honing, and that can be done in any city using a gear honer, which is basically a blacksmith NPC. We use the different stone fragments gathered from, the Chaos Dungeons and the Guardian Raids to upgrade our gear. These are the red destruction stone fragments for weapons, while blue Guardian stone fragments and the green Harmony leap stones, those are used for armor. Honing your gear will increase its eye level while also improving its stats, making it and you much stronger. We're also going to get a massive amount of upgrade materials from things like Una dailies, weeklies, and main story quests, so continue to hone your gear whenever you can. Alright, now it's time to continue the main story. We need to unlock the weekly abyssal dungeons now, and to do that, we need to complete the dungeon of North VERN. We do that by just following the main story until it eventually reaches the dungeon Ancient Elveria. When we complete that, you will unlock the abyssal dungeons, which will pop up on your screen after you hand it in. These are much more difficult than Chaos Dungeons or Guardian Raids. You need a higher eye level requirement to even begin them. The first tier and first dungeon requires eye level 340, but we should reach that from the materials we gathered on the way. As I said though, abyssal dungeons are weekly compared to daily, and that means the rewards are much more important. So you need to make sure you do these, and definitely matchmake this or do it with a group of friends if you can. But from here, you should have all of the main stuff unlocked to sort of begin your daily and weekly grind. To recap, each day you want to complete your 3 Una's task dailies, 2 Chaos Dungeons, and your 2 Guardian Raids. Beyond that, there's also things like Adventure Islands, Calendar Bosses, Chaos Gates, and your Rapport songs and emotes, which you can do before level 50. For your weeklies though, you will have to work on your Una's task weeklies that you picked up, and of course your Abyss Dungeons. always be doing the highest eye level content you can based on what equipment you have available and what tier you're currently at. In the future, we'll have Abyss raids, Trials of the Abyss, and even ghost ships, which are down the line in your eye level. Certainly not something you'll be doing day one, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just mention them. Throughout all of that though, we use our resources to continue to upgrade our gear and increase the eye level through honing, ideally find the perfect birthstone through stone cutting, and get your engravings running, which again, we're going to make a video on very soon. It's a lot, but I wanted to put together a list of things to do and in what order to get you going the most efficient as possible when you hit 50. So I do hope this helped. If you have any extra advice, you can drop it in the comments, but be sure to like the video so I can make more detailed guides like this one. Until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.